NBA Top Shot is where the NBA's biggest fans buy, sell, and earn officially licensed video collectibles. Rip packs or purchase individual, limited edition moments from the marketplace to build your ultimate collection. From rookies to legends, now you can flex your fandom by owning the greatest moments from your favorite players and teams. Your collection can even earn you once-in-a-lifetime, money-can't-buy experiences. NBA Top Shot users have already attended private events with superstars like Klay Thompson and rising stars like Cade Cunningham, and even all-time greats like Magic Johnson. Your entire collection of NBA Top Shot moments never lose quality and are accessible on any device. Rep your team, flex your fandom, and own the greatest moments from the NBA exclusively on NBA Top Shot. Sign up today at NBATopShot.com and kickstart your collection with your first pack. American Express Jersey Assurance is here to help fans. Listen to this. If you purchased a jersey from the NBA store using your American Express card and your player switches teams within 1 year of purchase, you can get a free replacement jersey. Pretty cool, right? Just make sure you use your Amex card and request a replacement within 14 days of the trade, and you can keep repping your favorite player no matter what the team. Terms apply. You can learn more about Amex Jersey Assurance at nbastore.com/Amex. You back your team, we back your jersey.
What's your favorite podcast?
We don't listen to podcasts.
So one thing that we do listen to is a recording of his father's last fart before he died.
It was a good one.
My dad, right before he died, let out one last fart. We got the audio on that.
Well, I like the daily, but I mostly just listen to an audio recording of my dad's last fart before he died.
I actually have my own podcast.
Oh, really? What is it?
My dad's last fart before he died on a loop.
Last fart my dad had before he died. You could really hear how stinky it was. That fart never stops ringing in my head. Puts me in a good headspace before I go into my job at the pig butchering market.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to Tassie, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. We're jumping right into it this morning. No housekeeping. This place is immaculate. We're going to be in and out of here in an hour. Before we get to the games last night, and we're going to do a bunch of trade rumors stuff here today. Cade Cunningham, Pistons guard, number 1 overall pick in the 21 NBA draft. He plans to have season-ending surgery on his left shin. Ugh. Surgery on a shin. I don't like the sound of it. It gives me the icks.
You don't hear that a lot in NBA circles.
I hear it a lot, right? So Cunningham is expected to make a full recovery ahead of training camp for next season, 23-24, but he is done. Shut it down. Now, he missed like the last 17 games. I think we were just waiting to see if this is ultimately what Cade and, you know, his trainers and the Pistons were going to do. I think they thought, let's give it a month, see if it heals at all, see if he's any better, and in the end, they're going to shut him down. So I assume you're not that surprised by this news.
I guess not.
Yeah.
But sources said that the shin was a problem last year and then in the offseason, so hopefully this takes care of it for the long term. As far as the Pistons, short term, it kind of stinks just that we wouldn't see Cade with Jaden Ivey. See how they work together. See if Killian Hayes is for real, because he's been really good for that month that Cade Cunningham has been out. See if those two could work together in the backcourt. They were going to lose a lot of games either way, but Cade Cunningham was a great player to watch, even in losses. So it sucks for Pistons fans. We'll get to the Bojan Bogdanovic rumors a little bit later and whether this news actually makes those real, or are they going to keep him around?
Yeah, is it more or less likely they move a vet like Bogdanovic, even Alec Burks or something like that?
That's a great conversation. I can't wait to have it in this very quick show that we're going to have. But it just stinks that he's been gone for a month. But I guess, you know, considering that this was a long-term thing, by all accounts, like the Pistons didn't come out and say, hey, this happened. But sources around James Edwards reporting on The Athletic said that it's been around for a long time. Well, hopefully it's just done and done. This needed to be done because he tried to wait it out as much as possible.
Try and rest and strengthen the shin. But in the end, after consultation with doctors and stuff like that, they're saying, okay, just shut him down. Now, maybe a part of that is also, we don't want to win games either. Not that they were really winning with him, so it doesn't maybe matter. Any thoughts on this, TK? Cade Cunningham out for the season.
It's just disappointing, really, that we don't get to see Cade with the other rookies that the Pistons have in Ivy and Duren. Like, you would like to see some chemistry building between Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham as your go-to pick and roll setup for the future. But obviously they don't have that chance now. It would also be nice to see your backcourt of the future playing together in Ivy and Cunningham. But obviously this is necessary. The Pistons are playing it long term here. It's just kind of a disappointing season for Cade Cunningham. He's obviously going to be missing the rest of it here, but just never looked totally in rhythm. The jumper wasn't there, so maybe the leg heals up nice and quick and he gets to work on the jumper, because that's going to be a big part of his game going forward, I do think.
So just plenty of more development time here for Jaden Ivey, of course, as a rookie, and then Killian Hayes, who's gotten an opportunity here to start these games and had some stretches. I know the jumper sort of left him here over the last couple of games, but he's going to get an opportunity in his third season? Is that where he's at?
Yep.
Third or fourth season? Yeah. So we'll see if he can he has shown promise, no doubt. Can he consistently be sort of an NBA starter? We're going to find out here.
Yeah. And as Trey brought up, the Jaden Ivey meshing sucks. That it won't see, they won't see another 60 games together because Ivey has fallen off here since Cade is not on the floor to help him create shots, get better looks. He just hasn't been a jump shooter or a great driver, and hopefully the shin gets strengthened. I'm not sure what shin strengthening exercises are. But
probably just rest, I would assume a lot, but stay off it, I guess. But
knees over
surgery.
Toes guy. You guys follow that guy on Instagram?
Yeah.
Sure, he's gonna be doing some deep squats, some lunges.
So hopefully he's ready to go.
Not quad
by the start of
extensions.
next season.
Not the pad on the shin, quad extensions.
No.
Not that. Probably doesn't help.
Let's get to the games. All right, we got to start with Damian Lillard, who was on fire last night. He tied his own Blazers record with 11 three-pointers in a win, Trey, and he sat out the entire fourth quarter. So Klay Thompson can rest easy. Otherwise, Dame may have had a chance at the NBA all-time record for games made threes made in a game. But 11, not bad through three quarters.
Yeah, not too bad. And, I saw a lot of people saying, if only it would have been a closer game, he would have had a chance to break it. Dame did play another 5 minutes in the third quarter after he got to 11, had 3 more attempts at the three to break at least his own record for the Blazers, but man, he was getting some easy shots. I was not very impressed with the way the Timberwolves were playing defense. Kind of weird to be playing a drop coverage against Damian Lillard. It was not working. There was also multiple times when they would end up, the Timberwolves would switch and Naz Reid would go to help at the rim and kind of forget that Dame Lillard was just wide open in the corner from 3. And he's going to make those ones, especially when he is in an incredible rhythm. So, it's getting to be table season, Skeetsy.
Oh, my God.
I know you saw the tweets last night as Dame at the MVP table. Blazers are 15-12, so not realistically. Dame's only played 15 games, but the Blazers are 10-5 when he plays. Since coming back from the calf strain, 33.7 points per game on 50, 50, 100 shooting. So those 4 games, certainly MVP caliber.
Oh, God.
If he strings it together, if he plays, 65 games or whatever he could end up maxing out at the end of the season, he'll at least get some votes.
What I do think he's solidifying is an all-star appearance. I think he's going to take that from Jeremy Grant and Freddie Simons here as they get better. It did stink. Watching McDaniels guard him, the Wolves always put McDaniels on the best perimeter player. And it feels like they just kind of forget about the rest of the defense. They just say, all right, you're our best perimeter defender, go get him. And it's just not a team effort. And I know you want to pull the plug on the Wolves to some degree.
I do?
Let's blow this thing up. Well, you mentioned
I'm fine moving Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah,
that's very interesting. This team, it's not gelling. I know it's one night, but even if they came together the last couple of games, it's just it's difficult to watch, and it's obviously early, and they're obviously going to try Gobert and Towns together when Towns comes back, but it's difficult to watch unless you're watching Anthony Edwards and his athletic abilities at times. He had his full. It was a nice. I'm bringing it up because it was a cool full vertical we saw from Anthony Edwards. You don't often see the 2-footed jump like he's at the combine. 1 minute left in the first half. It was just a full-on Anthony Edwards. Let's see how high you can jump, and he threw it down. That guy is ridiculously athletic, but they just got bombed by the Blazers team. They literally got smacked. And I know they're a 500-ish team, but it's a real Jekyll and Hyde situation here. Sometimes an okay team, and a lot of the times just a yuck team.
Yeah, so Lillard, the only player in NBA history to make more three-pointers through the first 3 quarters of a game there's only one other person that made more through 3 quarters of action. You can get it.
Klay Thompson?
Yeah, Klay did. Klay had 14.
Is that against the Bulls?
Yeah, I think in 2018. Yeah, that's right. 14 through 3
Headband,
quarters.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. So what a night from Damian Lillard, and Trey already gave you the stats there since returning from the Cavs trade. Not bad. He is in the MVP restaurant. I don't think he's at the table, but he's lingering around.
You're always happy to see him show up.
Oh, yeah. He's generally there.
Interesting to the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, he's eyeing that last slice of pizza from across the room. He might grab a wine glass and get a little splash of vino. We'll see. But it's crowded, man. There are a lot of people in this MVP restaurant, and there's only 5 or 6 sitting at the table. Let's go to our other game here from last night, the late one. Kawhi leading the Clippers over the Celtics in his best game, I think, since injury all season long. Kawhi looked pretty dominant along with Paul George, and the Celtics look suddenly beatable here, at least 2 nights in a row where they can't hit a 3 sort of to save their life. But what'd you think?
Kawhi Leonard, 25 in this one, looking Kawhi-ish. They don't see him play great that often, but they're 7-2 when he plays. They're 6-1 when he starts, but he doesn't play well. He's played in 4 or 5 games. Here comes Kawhi. They obviously need Kawhi Leonard to be playing not only in the playoffs to be anything, but we have to see him here in January, February, March, and April, and he understands it. He and his crew of trainers, they know he's got to get going, and that's why he's playing. So all those finals predictions earlier in preseason, where a lot of people had the Clippers in there, they're still alive. They're still alive because if he comes along, we talk about them not really having an offense. Do they need an offense when Kawhi is the offense? I mean, he was looking isolation basketball like Kawhi. He was looking Raptors like Kawhi, where he was just one-on-one. You couldn't stop him. And everybody else looks so much better because of it, because of the trickle-down effect. Everybody on that roster fits in so well. It was a bad night for the Celtics, but this is all about the Clippers having a really, really, really strong game.
Kawhi made 10 of 12 shots, 25 points, 9 boards, 6 assists there, TK. And this was I don't dare to call it a signature win for the Clippers here in mid-December. Their best win of the season against a really good Celtics team who are on they're on a tough part of their schedule, this road trip, all that. But this was solid for a team searching for some rhythm and consistency and having both their stars play. Yeah, they're going to look like a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, I loved Kawhi's line. I think it's his first 20-point game in over 500 days or something along those lines. Pretty crazy. Only 10 threes for the Clippers, which I think is super impressive. They won the turnover battle 15-9, and they won the offensive rebounding battle 11-5. So that's how they were generating a few extra possessions and some easy points against the Celtics team that's usually pretty solid scoring. Some people will say the greatest offense of all time. Debatable. That's debatable. Nonetheless, I thought the Clippers did a really good job at 2 things. Getting into their actions super quick. Like, this is generally a pretty slow team. They like to walk the ball up, isolate for stuff. They were jogging the ball up. It made a huge difference. And number 2, I thought the Clippers did a really good job of making things tough for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They were in a crowd basically the entire night. Tough shots for all of them. Only 16 of 35 shooting combined for Tatum and Brown, and 5 turnovers combined. They made it impossible for them to score inside. They were just seeing a whole bunch of bodies, and that's the Clippers at their best, is using their size and length defensively to just make things tough for the other team. If they're able to get offense as well, they are going to be tough to beat. They just don't want to go through the play-in tournament. Nobody does. So they got to get up to at least the 6th seed, which means a lot of Kawhi Leonard playing.
Yeah, we'll see. And it's been stop and start, right, with Kawhi this entire season. He's playing some games, then he's out for a good chunk, then he comes back, and then it's the ankle, and he's out again. But you're right, he's back here at least outside of that one back-to-back game that he sat, which is not going to shock anyone with Kawhi. But so far so good this little stretch here. The Celtics, remember we were talking about, that greatest offense of all time, and I was bringing up like their team shooting splits, one of them being that they were over 40% from three as a team, and we were debating, like, can they keep that up? Like, that's a hell of a mark. Not a lot of teams in NBA history have ever done that. Well, it's dipped now here to 39.1% as a team from deep. Still a great number, but the last 2 games here, these back-to-back shooting performances have been pretty rough from deep. 12 of 40. So 30% against the Warriors. And then last night, 9 of 39. And then you pair that with a bunch of turnovers, and it was a big reason why they got blown out. And the Clippers doing a good job, like you said. Lou even mentioned that, Trey. Like, we made a conscious effort to, like, have Tatum, especially Tatum, Brown to some extent, in a crowd. A lot of guys, a lot of arms, a lot of bodies, and just make life difficult. And I think I want to say a part of this is it's a tough schedule here right now for the Celtics, them on their road trip. So
yeah, they're allowed to have a 2-game dip.
Yeah.
I will say they were crowded on the perimeter. It would be great to get Robert Williams back to utilize above the rim offense, because they just haven't been able to do that this season. They've obviously been ridiculously incredible driving the ball, but Robert Williams will be back soon. That will help the offense. Just easier baskets, even though this has been the best team. But they are coming back down to earth. The Bucks are technically 1 game behind them, but they have the same amount of losses here now, which is wild to think, because you think the Celtics are just sort of running away with the Eastern Conference, but the Bucks are right there, and tied in the loss column. Either way, I'm excited to see Kawhi Leonard play basketball again, just because we know.
Enjoy it while it's here.
Oh, come on, Skeets. Come on, he's played in 4 or 5 games. After the game, he was...
Give him an award.
Well, yes, he knows his body. Okay, and after the game, he was asked, "Are you excited?" No, sorry. The reporter doesn't do that. The reporter asks in a regular tone, and then Kawhi Leonard will reply in that boring tone. But he was asked about the merits of playing in 4 or 5 games, having his best regular season game. He said I'm not going to do the impression anymore because I ruined it. He said, I don't care about the regular season.
Yeah.
He cares about the playoffs. And they shut up all those Celtics fans, which was nice. All the Celtics fans traveling well in Los Angeles. It felt like a home game for the Celtics. And, that was just surgical for Kawhi. 10 of 12. No one could stop him.
Got a back-to-back coming up here. Timberwolves and Suns. Which one do you want him to play in?
Suns, please.
Better play in the Suns game.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul George
But you said
can't handle
you
the
said
other
it's
one.
Mini then Phoenix? Like that's
they're
the order?
both home games. Wednesday, Minnesota. Thursday, Phoenix.
Which one will he
Phoenix.
play in?
He's probably going to play in Minnesota.
I think put me down for he'll play in the Minnesota game and take the Phoenix game off. All right, let's keep it going here. Let's take it all the way back to 2004. Jimmy Butler's late flurry helps the Heat put away the Pacers. I shit you not. In the year 2022, the final score was Miami 87, Indiana 82. Lowest scoring game of the season by far. 87-82. And for some reason, I was watching a lot of this. I don't know what that.
I consumed it too.
Yeah, what were we doing?
Ridiculous.
But
It was close, man.
We got the Jimmy. Yeah, it was close, and the Pacers came back. They were down like 19, right? And then they suddenly had the lead, and then it was Jimmy time. Once again, it's like the 4th time I've watched a Heat game this season where Jimmy Butler's like just rips off like a 5 to 10 point stretch. He had 7 in a row last night to sort of like seal the deal for Miami. But what a game.
This is the Heat recipe right now. Number 1, clamps. The defense is showing up every night for the Heat, which is why they at least have somewhat of a fallback plan. Number 2, Bam Adebayo is playing really well. What did he finish with last night? 22 and 17. He's one of the leaders in 2015 games so far this season. And then Jimmy just drags him across the line when it's winning time. This was a 2-point game with 3.5 minutes left. Jimmy made a layup, hit the and one free throw as well, made another layup, then hit a jumper. Suddenly it was a 9-point lead 1 minute later. And in a game when they scored 12 points apiece, a 9-point lead turned out to be insurmountable. That was like, ooh, sorry. I don't know if we can get 9 here in the last 2.5 minutes. But shout out to the Heat. They did a great job, especially taking Tyrese Halliburton out of the game. Finished with a single point.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an offer.
Then 1 point?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow. Yeah, you're probably right, actually.
Yeah.
I like the jokes flying around about this game last night. I know Hollinger was having a blast. A lot of Dale Davis mentions last night
Dale
on
Davis
Twitter.
talk, yeah?
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't need any more Davis bros in my life right now. I heard Alvin Williams on the Raptors broadcast a couple days ago invoke the name of Antonio Davis. Sure. Antonio Davis used to get mad when he was left out on an island out there. Too much Davis talk for me. I'm surprised we're talking about this 87-82 game. There's some other good games in the association.
It's an anomaly task.
It is an anomaly. How did you go about finding out that this was the lowest scoring game of the season?
I saw it, or maybe heard it on the broadcast that they had mentioned the previous game. Was it Bulls involved? I think it was.
I don't remember. It was 92-81.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they had this circled as going down as the lowest scoring game. Going into the fourth quarter, they're like, oh, they ain't getting close. Yeah. And they didn't. They were like 10 points shy each.
That's what
crazy.
That's what the stat operator is good for.
Oh, yeah.
This used to be a high-scoring game, honestly, when we started this podcast. Maybe a couple years prior to starting this podcast. Like, this was a normal score.
Oh, yeah, right.
This was like, wow. They almost hit 90 in one game. Lights out. Yeah. It's nuts to think how far we've come in less than
20 combined years. Threes? These guys were shooting the lights out of it. That's crazy.
All right. Well,
just Halliburton having that 1 point, 0 from the floor. I would rather have a point because you just don't want to have zero. But
you don't get snelled.
The Snell line. The Heat do a good job of taking away perimeter players. Yeah. They can do that, and I know we're not going to get into any Pacers specific rumors later on in this show because it's the same old Miles Turner, Buddy Hield.
Right.
But I do like the fact that the Pacers lose a couple games for them because it allows them, with their fan base, to say, we're not good enough. We need to trade a couple of these players. So I think they can still go in both directions, as I've said. They've come back down to earth. If you're top 4 in the Eastern Conference, it's kind of hard to say to your fans, we're trading Miles Turner and Buddy Hield.
Right.
One or the other, trading one of our players. But they can get better by trading them long term. So I think it makes more sense.
Well, the other games, let me chuck them all at you. You can touch on any you want to. Lucas scored 38. Mavs beat the Thunder 121-114. Nice little duel there with SGA. Epic duel, thank you. Keldon Johnson with a game-saving block on Donovan Mitchell as the Spurs won their third in a row. What's going on with this team? We had Jones and Brooks powering Memphis to the 128-103 win over Atlanta. And then finally, KD and Kyrie Irving lead the well-rested Nets. I love that the AP report had that. The well-rested Nets passed the Wizards 112-100. That was our pick'em game there as well. And Durant was loving some of the moves from Kyrie last night, especially that little left-hand finish that he had. But, any of those jump out to you want to talk about?
Didn't like the Wizards losing in the cherry blossom jerseys at home. Don't like that. Kyle Kuzma, though, getting every shot he wants. We'll get into him in the trade rumors. Can't wait for that. Yes, SGA, you want a player at the table. 42 for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the loss. Dude stays efficient. And just quickly about the Spurs beating the Cavs. Just like the Celtics come to town, I'll give the Cavs this status. The Cavs coming to town is a good team. Spurs are getting up for that game. They really got up for the game, and you can tell by the way they celebrated after the game. Keldon Johnson jumping around it was a great game-saving block.
Yeah,
and the Cavs tried to come back, but the Cavs didn't play like the Cavs last night, and the Spurs were ready for it. And that's what happens in the National Basketball Association. You got to play every night.
Got to play every night.
It's tough to do.
That is very tough to do.
Look at us here in the Classic Factory. We got to bring it every day. Some days we're better than others.
Absolutely.
Availability, man. We got it. We got good availability.
Any thoughts on those 4 games?
A couple of quick notarooskies. Yeah. In that Grizzlies game, Tyus Jones had a wide open breakaway layup, 2-hand backboard slap.
Yeah.
That was incredible. He has 2 dunks in his NBA career, none since 2018. My prediction, Tyus Jones throws down a dunk this year. Grizzlies bench goes insane.
Well, they were pissed off that he didn't.
Exactly, man. He's trolling.
Yeah,
he's going to throw one down sometime this season. Everybody will go crazy. So that's a dumb prediction, but it's going to come true. Also good, Jaren Jackson Jr., 8 blocks last night. Guy's played 11 games so far this season. He's already 10th in total blocks. He's got 40 blocks in 11 games.
Crap.
He's going to make at least somewhat of a run at Defensive Player of the Year as the season goes on and he gets his numbers up. The other game that was interesting, you talked about the Nets there taking it to the Wizards. 4 straight wins for the Nets, 8-1 in their last 9. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving last night, 54 points on 18 of 34 shooting. Ben Simmons went to the bench, came back starting, went in and out of the lineup due to injury. nary a peep.
Nope.
This is perfect for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Just play basketball, make zero news, and win some games.
How long can it last,
How long can it last? December 15th is in 2 days. Trade rumors will be flying like crazy. Maybe something goes haywire, but it's good times for the Nets right now. Also, Kevin Durant's shorts are getting shorter. I don't know how it's happening, but for the first time last night, I was like, whoa. This guy's wearing Daisy Dukes out there.
But he's got the crazy tights,
that were part of it. I don't know. They just looked incredibly short to me, but he had a fun game to watch as well. And then, like you're saying, he was celebrating all these Kyrie makes. That game was looking crazy to me, though, with the pink floor.
Yeah.
And the Nets are wearing uniforms that look more like Washington Wizards uniforms because they were wearing like old New Jersey Nets style stuff. A lot of color going on.
There was.
A lot of color.
Plenty of color.
Kyrie after the game, quote, "Man, let's just go win ball games. That's it. That's really what the attitude is."
Yes.
Yeah. And here's the money part. We know the talent we have. This is our group. No more excuses. No more distractions.
Yes.
All right. You said it, Kyrie. Leave it at that, and we're good to go because you guys are cooking right now. They're 17-12 as they sneak up on these teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, definitely, after losing a couple, and then even the Celtics and Bucks. They're not that far ahead of them. So here they come, Tess. The Nets, for right now.
Yeah, it's a little like the Kawhi Leonard situation. We'll believe that they're steady a little later in the season.
They are similar in the sense, like, when you see them play and everybody's playing and there aren't distractions, you're like, yep, this team could win a title. I mean, they have the talent to do it. But then you're always like, hold on. I've done this before. I've tricked myself. I've talked myself into this before. Either injuries with the Clippers case or distractions or even injuries with the Nets case. And you're like, you want to pump the brakes a little bit. But
hey, Kevin Durant is under talked about. He has not been talked about a lot. He is the MVP.
He is sitting at the MVP.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he is there.
He is.
He has to be sitting.
He has to, even if it's the least talked about seat at the table. Maybe it's just.
He's got a drafty, like he's by the window or something.
See, the thing is, you would talk about that seat, though. You know what I mean?
That how bad it is. Like
no, it's
why
the worst
here?
seat. You know, it's the worst seat, so you'd talk about it.
What is if you're sitting at a table, what's your worst seat? I'll tell you mine. I hate when the light is bad on you at a seat. For whatever reason, like sometimes they'll hit the wrong chair and it's like too bright. It's like you're under a spotlight. You're like being interrogated. I hate that.
I hate it. Yeah. I hate a table leg in between my legs.
Ooh. Good.
Don't like that.
Good
That's
one.
bad. I hate a seat where you're facing away from all of the action. You know, like the entire rest of the restaurant is back there. Your table is here.
Oh, okay.
That's how they assassinate you in the mafia.
Oh, true.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous seat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
you got to sit against the wall so you can see all of the threats.
I'm so with you on that.
They're all.
I feel very uncomfortable with my back to the rest of the restaurant.
We go to dinner and nobody sits down. We're like, oh, I know you hate that seat. You hate that seat. I like that seat. You like that seat. We just stand the whole time.
All right. So let us know in the stream team other things you hate about sitting at a table. The worst parts, the worst seats. Being in a restaurant. Let us know. And you also brought up like Jaren Jackson Jr. and the case he's making already here for Defensive Player of the Year. Don't you worry. On tomorrow's podcast, we're going to talk about these new reimagined NBA awards. Renamed. And in the case of the MVP, well, in the case of all of them, I guess, just completely redone. Mm-hmm. Got some thoughts on these. Not good ones. We'll save it for tomorrow's podcast.
Save it, man.
Yeah.
I think they should name the Defensive Player of the Year award after Utah Watanabe. Guy liked it. Iron Eagle loved it on the call. Utah Watanabe with a block. Utah Watanabe. This guy does it all. What was the other? Utah the Shooter. Yep. He's dropped.
Got a great name to make a bunch of fun nicknames with, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got to take a break here. When we come back, we are going to get into the trade rumors. Don't go anywhere. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, when the actual total is closer to $200 plus. That's right. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. In this economy, we gotta clean that up. Thankfully, there's this app that takes care of it for me and for you. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as True Bill. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you still don't want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you don't even know you were paying for. Birchbox? Why do I have that? To cancel a subscription, I don't wear makeup. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/nodunks. Seriously, it could save you hundreds, maybe if not thousands of dollars per year. That's rocketmoney.com/nodunks. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/nodunks.
I live in Atlanta, but I like watching the Toronto Raptors and Toronto Blue Jays play. And that used to be a big pain for me because they don't show the games here. It doesn't happen. But this season, I discovered an amazing trick that's let me watch every single NBA and MLB game live for a fraction of the normal cost. It's called ExpressVPN. Here's how it works. The NBA offers NBA League Pass, which lets you stream games online. But if you live in the US or Canada, it doesn't let you watch all of them. Some games are blacked out. Even for us, we get the blacked out blues with our passes as well. It happens to us. So what do? Fire up ExpressVPN and use it to change your location to a different country. Buy and use the NBA League Pass from there, and boom, no blackouts. What a hack. And depending on the country, NBA League Pass could cost less than $15 for a whole year. ExpressVPN works on your computer, phone, router, and consoles like Fire TV, so you can watch all the games from any device. Even when you're not watching NBA, you can use ExpressVPN all the time for stuff like Netflix or Disney Plus to access thousands of extra shows that are only on other countries' libraries. Enjoy all 1,230 games of the NBA season in HD with the world's most trusted VPN, ExpressVPN. And you can use our special link today to get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/nodunks. Then you can use ExpressVPN to sign up for NBA League Pass at a huge discount. That's expressvpn.com/nodunks for 3 months free with a 1-year package. expressvpn.com/nodunks.
What does it take to achieve your athletic goals? Competitive drive fuels the fire, but going beyond your limits requires a roadmap and a trusted co-pilot. That's where Future comes in. Not the rapper. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
We're talking about the app. Future is a new way to get fully customized personal training that revolves around you. No matter what gets you moving, you'll find the guidance, motivation, and accountability to push beyond your comfort zone. Future has all of the benefits of one-on-one personal training without the 1-hour time limit and strict schedule. Whether you need tips for sleeping well the night before a race or nutrition advice after setting a deadlift PR, your coach is ready to create a competitive edge wherever and whenever you're focused on fitness. Kind of would like to get back into deadlifting. Coolest sounding lift out there. Coolest bar as well.
Yeah.
That hexagon, very cool. It all happens through the Future app with the tools you need to plan workouts, measure progress, and celebrate milestones. Get started with a 2-week free trial of Future at tryfuture.com/nodunks. That's tryfuture.com/nodunks. You can cancel anytime for a full refund. Personal training made modern, only on Future.
All right, back in the Classic Factory, the stream team is buzzing about the MVP table conversation and the question about what's the worst seat to sit in at a table. But just so everybody's clear, the MVP table, I think we decided on 5, and we've been we can talk ourselves into 6. We can pull up a chair to our circular table every once in a while.
That's the worst seat.
The one being pulled up
chair. No flatware.
So it's 5 to 6, and then we do need to clarify, it is not a booth because no grown man will sit in a booth, as the stream team says. I don't know why, even though the photo we always show you of us at that pizza place in Chicago is definitely in a booth.
Yeah, it's nice because your backs are against the wall.
Yeah, nobody's coming up and sneaking up and killing us.
So safe.
Yeah.
Except for Jerome. You never know who's outside the window.
You never know.
Or what he's hiding in that turtleneck.
And then, there was a bunch of answers to the worst seat. So people hate a middle seat in a booth.
Yeah.
Fair.
Stuck in there. Yep. That's not a great one. I hate the seat right next to the kitchen. so you can see everyone's food coming out before yours. Elvis says
like
that.
a kitchen seat.
Yeah, don't like that. What else do we got here?
Close to the bathroom's got to be there.
Ooh, yeah.
That's worse than kitchen to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Greg's a tall guy, so he says a restaurant table, they often have hidden support bars that are awful on his knees. So he hates all tables.
Same thing with podcast tables, honestly.
Yeah, that's right. Filthy Card says my request is just to not sit to the left of a left-hander. I hadn't thought about that part.
So true.
Wow.
So true.
Oscar says hate sitting on the crack of a booth seat.
I like that.
Yeah. It's like uncomfortable because the cushions, especially if it's been worn in a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
depending. If you're at like a Cracker Barrel, you're caved in there. Yeah.
All the seats in a Cracker Barrel have cracks in them. Not a lot of people know that. And then Lance says, I hate sitting in the spot that the waitress stands to take orders.
Oh, like right next to you. That is. Just look it up. It does make you feel a little bit like a kid.
There's Alex says, the chair by the door. I can't take a cold breeze. Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts on tables and chairs in this MVP table, but it's quite not a race. It's quite a table in terms of who's sitting down.
Big,
because like I'm almost like at the point. I know it's just 2 bad games, but like. Has Tatum stood up from the MVP table and like go check on his car if he's double parked and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. That might be like a KD seat or something like that. Because it's like Giannis is there, Luka's there, Jokic is there.
First, I want to say he's sort of locked in the middle. If it's a booth, he's in the middle, and he doesn't have to get out. Man. But does he have a big bladder? Because you have to have the biggest bladder to be sitting in that.
That's
seat.
honestly why I always sit in the booth.
At the
when
end?
I sat down to sit yesterday, we went out and had lunch yesterday. I was like, I'll sit in the booth. I pee the least.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yep. I will gladly take that seat.
And if I remember correctly, everybody else went pee except for you. Yeah.
The math works out.
Yep, that's right.
Give me the booth.
I think of all of them, I have Giannis. I think Giannis is in the. If we're in a booth, I think he's in the middle. Because he's like the most. He ain't going anywhere. Giannis is always going to be in the MVP conversation. He usually plays a lot. Puts up ridiculous numbers, of course, and his team is good.
Steady Freddy.
So I think he's steady Freddy. I'm not saying he's winning MVP, but I think he's always there. Anyway, okay. Let's get to some trade rumors. Oh, wow. It's been so long. Since the NBA trade rumors intro. Okay, I got a bunch here for you. A lot of this coming by way of our guy Shams at The Athletic with his inside pass. Dropping all of these tasty little nuggets that you can chew on if you want. All right? Don't gobble them down like your Kobayashi or chestnut. Chew on them. All right?
Just chew.
And don't use water, okay? Actually enjoy this nugget I'm going to throw at you here. The Lakers. Let's talk about the Lakers, of course. Sham says the Lakers are prioritizing shooting in their conversations with teams. They've discussed packages, including salaries and a protected first-round pick for Detroit's Bojan Bogdanovic. And the Lakers have also discussed concepts, I love that word, involving Cam Reddish and Evan Fournier on the New York Knicks. Any thoughts on, especially with the Bogdanovic and the Lakers just trying to get shooting some not regurgitated sort of rumors here. Does Chestnut ever do that? Does he chew it up, spit it out, put it in some water, and put it back down? I don't know. But anyway,
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Bojan Bogdanovic, this feels regurgitated. But Bojan Bogdanovic had a great quarter against the Lakers. He had a 25-point quarter earlier this week against the Lakers. He's had 3 30-point games in December. This guy is a baller. I don't think the Pistons are going to trade him. He's 33 years of age. It would make sense for him to go to a contender and them to get a draft pick back. But I just think the Pistons are sitting there and saying, Little Caesars Arena has not been bumping for a long time. This guy is a very, very solid player. He's one of the free agents after next year that would come available. And we got him. And I think they are just going to hold on unless they are blown away by a Lakers draft pick.
An unprotected first-round pick.
Unprotected, they would
then
do
you're
it.
Like, yeah, okay.
But Pelinka ain't doing that. I think there's a stalemate there. Reddish, Fournier, obviously far lower down the list than Bojan Bogdanovic, who is, again, the perfect Laker complement. It would be so good because he's not a point guard that needs the ball. LeBron's the point guard on that team when it comes down to it. This is exactly what LeBron had through the good years. And he would be so good. He can just do it himself. And LeBron respects this dude. It just makes so much sense, but I just don't see a deal coming, unless they're overwhelmed by something. But they don't have the players. It would have to be a pick.
Yeah.
And it's the protections on that pick.
27 or 29 draft picks that the Lakers have. What do you think?
Yeah, and isn't the line that the Lakers are prioritizing championship-altering players?
Right.
I don't necessarily think Bojan Bogdanovic is that, but of the names that they are in the mix for right now, he's the closest, and the fit is nice, and like you're saying, there has been some success against LeBron, which surely counts for something when it comes to who they're acquiring, but I agree that the Lakers should be targeting shooting here. They were 22nd in three-point percentage last year, 28th this year. This has been a problem since they traded all of their shooters after winning the championship. Still one of the craziest moves. The problem for the Lakers is that the one guy who's going to bring back like significant players out there is Westbrook because of his contract. You got to add a pick to trade that contract at this point, which means the other team is getting no value back, which then means you have to toss in the other pick to give them something of value. So it's going to be tough. And if Bogdanovic is the best they can do, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be good enough for the Pistons because this is a guy who should be in demand throughout the league.
Yeah, well, the rumor was Beverly, plus pick plus filler for Bogdanovic, and so it's just be the pick instead of, the Westbrook angle, which is, it doesn't really make sense if you're the other teams around the league. So if you're of two, you can be of two minds here. Well, the Pistons should trade Bojan Bogdanovic, get something for him. Why the heck?
Because he doesn't match up with their youth.
Their
movement.
timeline. He's 33.
Yeah.
He's their leading scorer. But there's also you need good players at some point. You're in that locker room, you're Cade, you're Killian Hayes, you're Jaden Ivey. Why are you trading one of our good players? I mean, year after year after year. I get that. Sort of makes sense. I don't think they won't be overwhelmed enough to trade him.
So you think Bogdanovic will be there after the trade deadline passes?
I think so.
You think he'll be in Detroit? They won't be overwhelmed enough with an offer? Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, 3-team deal. Shams pitching this one to everyone. He's heard whispers. The Suns recently engaged in 3-team talks that would have sent Jay Crowder to Milwaukee, to the Bucks, 4 Bucks second-round draft picks, along with some players, unnamed players here, to Houston, and then Eric Gordon and or Kenyon Martin Jr. to Phoenix. All right? Everybody follow that. Shams went on to say the Rockets are coveting 1 first-round pick for Gordon, and for Martin, a very good first-rounder. Not a batch of second-rounders, according to sources. That's why maybe this hasn't happened.
Do not batch them up.
They don't want this batch of second-rounders. The Rockets have had interest, this is not a surprise, in Gordon from several contending teams, is what Shams says in his sources, but appear less willing to entertain the topic of trading Kenyon Martin Jr. So, Eric Gordon, on the trade block.
This is the year.
Yeah.
This is the year.
I think it is. I think it is.
It's the last year of his contract. Finally.
Right.
Finally.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get a first-round pick for Eric Gordon for 3 seasons, pretty much since Chris Paul left, I guess, is when they've been trying. But this is the year they might actually do it. Also, Eric Gordon's been trying to get to Phoenix for years, I feel like, as well. So maybe things finally line up. But I actually think the Suns should be more interested in Kenyon Martin Jr. than they should in Eric Gordon. They don't need another shooter. The Suns are great at shooting. Eric Gordon's not a free throw guy either. They need somebody, a big wing, to basically replace what they're losing in Jay Crowder and what they have lost in not having him out there. So maybe that's why the Rockets are saying, we want a first-round pick for this guy who was a second-round pick and doesn't have a long track record of success. It's posturing season out here.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of think Detroit's kind of bigging up themselves right now about Bojan Bogdanovic, trying to drive up the offers. Surely that's what Houston's doing as well, because Eric Gordon could get a first-round pick. I think it's unlikely that KJ Martin gets a first-round pick, but at least he's a guy that could help some teams with his energy and his athleticism.
Yeah, I think it's finally the year the Rockets sell. I think it just finally happens. Have they waited too long to be able to get a first-round pick for Eric Gordon? Eric Gordon is long in the tooth. He's in his mid-30s here.
If it's a first-round pick, it's protected and it's coming at the back end of the first round. As much as I like Eric Gordon, and I think he would help a contending team, he still is a decent player. He's
absolutely
he gives it his best on the defensive end, and we know he's a scorer. He can still do that. He's a two-way scorer. So I like him on a lot of teams, but just not. I don't want to give up too much for him.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
He seems perfect to be coming off a bench for a contending team. He will work his ass off defensively. Yeah, the Kenyon Martin Jr. thing is interesting. They have a lot of talent in Houston. They have just so much. So it makes sense to get rid of Eric Gordon. I guess they don't want to pay Kenyon Martin Jr. in the long term. He's going to be extension eligible next year. They've got Şengün in the front court and Tari Eason and a bunch of wings. It's interesting because he's having a really great season.
Yeah, he's solid.
So why give up on him?
What type of extension is Kenyon Martin Jr. going to be looking at? 12 million? 13? Maybe not even. Yeah,
sounds like a lot, but
yeah, not that maybe. So that's going to be a good deal. I'm with you. I wouldn't be looking to move Kenyon Martin Jr. if I'm the Rockets, unless again you're getting something like, wow, geez, another bite at the apple, amazing draft pick that we have to do. But
it does.
Or Eric Gordon, yes, not Kenyon Martin.
It feels like Kenyon Martin Jr. shouldn't get $12 million, but it feels like the hype is just so high right now that
I don't think that's that far fetched.
No,
I mean, not today's.
Depending how you look at it. Marvin Bagley just got that much, 13.5 extension per year with the Detroit Pistons for 3 years, which was a contract that hasn't worked out so far.
Yeah.
So you could see that.
Anyway. Danny LaRue at The Athletic made a good point. The cap expert. He said another reason a deal should happen regarding Eric Gordon, at least, is that Gordon is the Rockets' best option if they want to take on long-term money in exchange for a stronger return. I like this thinking here from again Danny LaRue. The idea the Rockets may take on a bad contract. They have a ton of cap space. And who knows if they're going to be doing anything with it in 23 when it's not the sexiest free agency class. So they could do that, but to get a better picks, young talent thrown in, stuff like that. You can help a team out by, okay, we'll take your crappy contract or something you don't want, but you're going to have to sweeten the pot with, again, draft capital or young guys. I think that's a possibility. But Eric Gordon, you're more convinced will be moved than Bogdanovic.
Yeah, and like Trey brought up about the Pistons maybe showcasing Bojan Bogdanovic or saying that you've got to sweeten the pot a little bit, it may benefit a team like the Rockets if the Pistons aren't pulling the trigger on a deal. Eric Gordon's next in line,
right?
To some degree.
To some degree. He also said, Shams here, let's get to Jay Crowder. He was a part of that 3-team deal. The Hawks and Heat are also interested in Jay Crowder. And Miami is expected to have a re-energized pursuit because a lot of their players like Dedmon and Oladipo are available to be traded starting Thursday on December 15th, where 90% of the league of guys that signed are going to be able to be moved. So the Hawks and Heat interested in Jay Crowder.
I love the Heat going back and getting their old bud Jay Crowder back, who helped them get to an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It's like the Lakers we just talked about could use their shooters back, bring back Kuz, bring back Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He would help a lot. So it makes sense. It makes sense on both teams. Really, the Hawks could use him, although I'm intrigued a little bit more by the next name we're going to get to with the Atlanta Hawks and Kyle Kuzma, just because it's so rich in potential drama. The higher ceiling with Kuzma, no doubt. But also, I don't know. I don't know if that could work with the Atlanta Hawks. Jay Crowder would be a steady Freddie. I don't know what the Hawks give up. Is it somebody, young down the depth chart for Jay Crowder? The John Collins is a little too much. But, somebody like a Jalen Johnson or something to get the money working there. It would make sense for both teams, though. And Crowder has to be traded. Right?
Well, you'd think he would be. I mean, he's not playing. I wonder if Jay Crowder is going to have what worked for Al Horford, taking off that OKC year and suddenly was looking young and spry again. I mean, Crowder's on the older side. I think he's 32. I think he's not a spring chicken, so this could help him not playing here. Whatever team he ends up on, and give you something for a playoff push or even in the postseason. Any thoughts on Crowder? A name that's being thrown around all the time.
He's going to be on the Heat or the Bucks, one of the two.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's him and PJ Tucker. They just make the same decisions over and over.
It feels that way.
Pretty much, right? They're like the same guy. You're like big wing, can guard 3, 4, maybe 5 in a pinch. not as good of a shooter as you would be led to believe, but willing to shoot it sometimes, and a tough guy who helps out with the culture. He's obviously got the past with the Heat, which I think matters, and the Bucks have been interested in him basically since PJ Tucker left Milwaukee. So I think he'll be on one of those two teams. The Heat, though, can get to $30 million in salary if they include Duncan Robinson, Dwayne Dedmon, and Victor Oladipo. They also have picks that they could trade. They could trade their draft pick this year. They could trade 27 if they wanted. But who wants Duncan, Dwayne, and Victor? Anybody? $30 million for those three, that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a question if you can trick somebody into taking those. Yeah. Because otherwise, they don't have a lot to trade.
No, they don't. Let's go to John Collins. So hot right now. Still so hot. John Collins, trade rumors. He's not even playing. He's injured. But Sham says the Hawks have had several teams in the John Collins market, such as Utah, Washington, Brooklyn, and Dallas. 4 teams for John Collins. Of those 4, is there one you like more than the others, where you're like, okay, let's make this happen? There's something there. They could really use John Collins.
Listen, the Kuzma for John Collins deal that Shams Charania said that the Hawks have some interest in Kyle Kuzma. I love it.
But there doesn't appear to be traction on a potential framework, also said Shams, this Kuz, John Collins. But you love it.
Well, it's risky, for sure. Because Kuzma, DeJounte Murray, and Trae Young in that locker room, I'm just not sure if it creates a winning locker room. Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure. It's just a mix. It's a mix of guys that may not work. It feels like they'd be bad to the bone.
Gumbo.
Yeah.
Also, Kuzma's going to be looking for a payday here.
He is.
Apparently $20 million.
He absolutely is, and that's why it is very risky. Jay Crowder, far less risk. He knows his role. He just comes in there. Kuz wants to shoot, baby, and he's shooting, and the Wizards are losing, but he's just at this point of his career where he wants to get paid. Again, he would fit the John Collins role pretty well because he's a three-point shooter, allowing the lane to be open for DeJounte Murray, as I bang my can there, and Trae Young. So he fits. He's willing to take every shot that is available to him. So I just like the drama part, and I think all this talk about John Collins going places and even for Jay Crowder, you gotta want something back, a decent part back, I think, for John Collins, not just Jay Crowder, a young, good part, because John Collins could be a 2010 guy in this league, and Kuzma kind of fits that. Kuzma, I think, is at the peak of his powers right now. He is beloved by everyone. He's shooting 17 times a game, and he's a complimentary piece. But I think right now his trade value couldn't be any higher. Like his rep right now cannot be any higher. He's in his late 20s. This is it.
Yeah.
So the Wizards should cash right now, I think.
Kuzma's almost entered the Harrison Barnes, Tobias Harris level of a good player. Can score, not gonna kill you on the other end, but is he a 2? Is he our second best player? Nah, is he our third best player? Actually, if he could be our 4th best player, then we're very happy. But how much are we gonna have to pay him? That's where I'm seeing Kuzma's career going here. Not a bad spot to be. He's going to get a lot of money.
He is my number 1 trade target for every team.
Okay.
Because literally, who doesn't need size, rebounding, shooting, defensive know-how, and championship pedigree?
Yeah.
He's the perfect mix. He's making $13 million this year, which is why Washington is going to be looking for a juicy pick. They will not be able to get a great player back because the salary is so low, but they could get a decent pick for Kuzma. I think Washington is not interested in this deal with the Hawks because they probably don't want to pay John Collins $25 million a year for the next 5 seasons. If they were going to do that, they would just keep Kuzma and pay him. So I wouldn't mind seeing him on Brooklyn and Dallas. The trades are kind of tough to get him there, but Collins would be perfect for Brooklyn. Just catch and shoot guy, plays defense, hits the glass, which I think is something that Brooklyn certainly needs. And he would be like a super Maxi Kleber for Dallas, basically. Can play a little bit of defense, has athleticism, can roll, can shoot threes, can hit the glass. But man, I thought it was so funny when Chandler Parsons was calling out Kyle Kuzma earlier this week. He's like, this guy thinks he's a star, never be a number 1 or number 2 option, but he's going to get paid. Dude, Kyle Kuzma is Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, man.
I didn't ever realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I loved Chandler Parsons when he was good. They even both have 6 spin moves. That's perfect.
Eric Pincus at Bleacher Report said Kuzma is a flight risk here in Washington, too, because of free agency. And he is the type of player that maybe rebuilding teams would covet there in free agency. Again, if you look at the class coming up, Kuzma easily is probably like a top 10 player in the 23 free agency class. And looking, like I said, at $20 million, he probably wants to play for a contender, maybe just wants the paycheck. Who knows? Kuzma is believed to still be on the Sacramento Kings radar. So they did have interest in him once upon a time. The Lakers, Suns, and Knicks also interested in Kuz. So I do think, especially with the Wizards now, just like looking like the Wizards of old.
Free fall.
Yeah. Getting back to the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings, they would be silly not to get something in return, because otherwise I can't imagine he's staying with the Washington Wizards. So get something. Move off him and get any sort of pick, any sort of young player, whatever it is, instead of losing him for nothing. So I think he will be moved, and I think he wants to. I don't know. It's Kuzma. I mean, I guess my gut just says he wants to be moved, but who knows? Maybe not. He's getting numbers in Washington. The only final note I have here, the Magic and Spurs, potential fire sales with some of their guys. Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, Mo Bamba with the Magic. They're always in the mix.
Gary Harris and Terrence Ross are available again.
And the Spurs, Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott. So these are all decent players, and I can't imagine it would take too much. Maybe Poeltl a little bit more for sure, but the rest of them, they could be had. Right?
Yes, they are available.
Yes. They're always available.
Yeah, the Magic gonna trade a center. They have so much height. Would they trade Mo Bamba? I just want to see them roll out 5 centers. I know they kind of throw out a guard with all these centers, but they've got Bol Bol, Mo Bamba, Mo Wagner, another Mo,
Double Mo.
Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., probably their steadiest center. They're so big. They should trade a center or two, and they might.
Bombo was a guy who had a little teeny bit of free agency buzz over the summer, and then he instantly re-signed with Orlando. So maybe they're thinking, if he comes out and shows you the 38% shooter again, like he's doing, maybe somebody will be interested.
I think the Blazers would be a nice spot for Mo Bamba as a backup big. I think they could use a little more
like Drew
some
Eubanks?
depth. No, he's fine, but I think he would fit there. And obviously, you wouldn't be asking him to do a ton. So somebody get on the trade machine, get a Blazers Magic Mo Bamba to Portland deal going for me, because I'm not doing it. We'll see. I mean, a lot of these names, just the same old names. Let's just get to it already. 15th is almost here, and then these trades can actually happen. So hopefully they're like all lined up. And some of these guys, I can't trade them till the 15th. All right, now we're good to go. Let's go. And on Friday's show, boom, 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 trade, emergency podcast after emergency podcast. Because that's all we want. Everybody just wants trades. Throw some thumbs on it. What's your grade? Who's the winner? Who's the loser? Doesn't matter at all. Probably not. Do you really believe in a second-round draft pick? I don't know. Shut up. All right, let's take our last break. And when we come back, pick 'em results, and Tess has a really good tweet of the night. Don't go anywhere.
Peloton, my old friend. Where are my notes? Oh, guys, here it is. It's always this time of year that we start thinking about what next year will bring. We start thinking about resolutions to work out more, but let's face it, they rarely stick. Hey, maybe you're the type that needs a little extra incentive to stick with your plans. What, living longer and looking good naked not good enough for you? Well, Peloton gets it, they get you, and they've got a gift for you. Get $200 off accessories like cycling shoes, heart rate monitors, and more when you purchase a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread, and up to $100 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton guide to take your workout to the next level. Make this first step toward achieving your fitness goals in 2023. And once you start, you'll see why so many people stick with Peloton, with a variety of workouts from cycling to scenic runs, boot camps to power walks. You'll find classes that work for you, taught by world-class instructors who know exactly how to get the best out of you. So don't wait. Get this offer before it ends on December 25th. That's less than 2 weeks away, right, Tess?
Yes, less than 2.
That's right. This expires on December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com. All access membership separate. Offer ends, again, December 25th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Merry Sorbsmas! And a happy Sorbidays to everyone.
Yes.
It's not all sleigh bells and mistletoe out there. It's also picking out a tree bigger than your station wagon and having to figure out how to get it home. Or leaving your kid at home alone while you travel to France. And it's even accidentally becoming Santa when you put on his suit after he falls off your roof. That actually happened to a close friend of mine named Scott.
Wow.
Yeah. Haven't seen him since.
Jeez.
Got huge, man. Huge and old. Out of nowhere. Guy fell off his roof. Some of these guys Santa Claus.
Wow.
Nonetheless, you can fight holiday stress with Next Evo Naturals. Unlike other CBD brands, Next Evo's smart sorb technology delivers CBD to your system in as little as 10 minutes. Smart Sorb upgrades CBD's natural absorption power. It's scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD fast. The only brand clinically proven to deliver 30 times better absorption in the first 30 minutes. Yeah, that's Next Evo Naturals, baby. You can get smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals and up to 25% off subscription orders of $40 or more at nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code NODUNKS. That's nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code NODUNKS.
All right, back here in the Classic Factory, got some breaking news. The Webby Awards just named the best sports podcast after No Dunks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was confused there for a second. Not that you had me going.
You thought I was going to say we won the Webby Award, but I really threw you for a twist there.
Well, you said after No Dunks, so my mind went to we won it last year.
Did we? Or was that 2 years ago?
I guess it was a couple years ago. So after, meaning this year.
It's just they're following what the NBA's doing, renaming all their awards after the best of the best. So I guess the Webby Awards Best Sports Podcast will now be called the No Dunks Best Sports Podcast Award. I don't know if we're still eligible to win it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're not podcasting anymore, like we're retired like all these Jordan.
Ooh, yeah, true. Good point. Good point. Okay, picking results. Last night we had that Nets-Wizards game. Brooklyn favored by 5.5 on the road, and they covered. They took care of business. That's a win for me and Trey. Improves our record to 4-4 in the month of December. And Tess had the Wiz. Thought they'd at least cover. Close for a bit, but Nets pulled away. So you're 5-3. We got a nice little race going here. What's our game tonight?
5-game night in the association. Big ones on TNT.
Yeah.
Golden State visiting Milwaukee is the one that we're going to focus on here.
Oh, hello.
The Bucks at home are 4.5-point favorites. So if you're taking the Bucks like you're Trey or Skeets, you want a 5-point victory. No points to play with, while I have 4 points to play with as a picker of the Golden State Warriors going into Milwaukee.
Yeah, I thought the line was a little big, but then again, the Warriors stink on the road. I guess they're taking that into consideration. And the Bucks are obviously pretty damn dominant. The TNT game. This is so what? We got inside here tonight. They are on Tuesdays now.
I just change that.
Yeah.
They are indeed.
Okay, here's a bet.
See ya, Candace.
Can you
see
bet
ya,
on
Adam.
this? Can you bet on this? Shaquille O'Neal thrown into a Christmas tree tonight.
Interesting.
Do they run it back a week later? They did it twice in one night last week. And do they do it again? Or you know what? I'll open it up to anybody's throwing
that's
into a
better.
I was
Christmas
gonna
tree.
say,
Maybe a
Person
Chuck
going in.
gets thrown in. I don't know. Probably Shaq though. But what are you betting?
Yeah, sure. I'll take the field.
All right.
Shaq, no
I think
way.
that's a good
No
bet.
way, Shaq.
No
They're not
way,
gonna-
Shaq.
They're not going to repeat it.
Wow.
I'll make you a bet. I'll take the field. You take Shaquille.
Okay. What do you want to put
And what
on?
happened? And Trey
A
gets
glass
nobody.
of eggnog?
A glass of nog is on the line, eh?
Who's the loser?
I don't know.
Who has to drink the nog?
All right, you got the field. I got Shaq. Somebody's going in a tree.
Winner gets to pick who has the nog. Okay, I got to get to a farm. I've been telling myself I'm going to get to a local Georgia farm to get some fresh nog.
All right.
It's got to happen.
Okay, great.
I'm going to milk a cow today. Make some nog.
Wow.
And I'm going to get an egg from a chicken. You need it, right?
Yeah, you need egg. You need creme.
Yeah.
You need the creme. You
Creme
need
and
the egg.
It's like custard.
Let's get to tweet of the night.
Yeah, in a cup.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go to Brewster's. Or to Illinois. Anyway, get some custard. Either way, dandy of a tweet.
Yeah.
Let's flash back to flash forward. 2002, Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James played against each other in a high school basketball game.
Wow.
20 plus years ago. Let's flash forward. 2022, their sons played each other in a basketball game. Two of Bron's sons, Bronny and Bryce. That's Bryce on the left if you're with us on YouTube. Bronny in the middle. And Melo's son on the other team, Kiyan Anthony. This is wild. Look at this.
Who wears short shorts?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Shorts have changed a lot in 20 years.
Yeah, right. Oh, looks cool. This is amazing.
It is amazing.
Cool.
And then let's get some game footage, some high school game footage.
Okay,
here.
let's break it down.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna be
Because in 2002, LeBron threw down a dunk, and then Bronny in this game yesterday threw down a dunk with LeBron on the sideline. And Rob Lopez edited this together, and LeBron being a real dad, real coach, getting up, saying, get back there, get back on defense. He was pumped for his son to throw down a dunk. But yeah, split screen of St. Vincent, St. Mary, LeBron throwing down a dunk. No, it wasn't. That was a lot earlier in the year. Anyways, doesn't matter. The point is, 20 years apart.
Sure.
Son's playing. Bron, Melo on the sideline. We're not going to go through the stat lines. We're not going to parse the game or anything. Nah. Nah. That's enough.
Will all three of them be in the NBA?
I don't know.
Let's put some eggnog on it. I'll say no.
I'll go nog on you.
Holy crap, I got a lot of eggnog bets going on. Keep track.
That's tough. Yeah,
I don't know.
You're going to keep track of that for years because they're not draft eligible for a long time.
Yeah.
2024 for Bronny. Later for Bryce. I don't know.
26 maybe? Is he like 2 years younger or something like that?
Right.
And then Kiyan, I'm not even sure.
I don't even know. Yeah. I've seen footage of him. Yeah, he's obviously talented. Great genes.
Very good.
But man, it's a lot of
very
pressure.
good pants.
Yeah.
All sweats, yeah.
All right, Elvis says they're all going to be in the NBA, so looks like I'm going to be drinking this nog.
I think at least Summer League preseason, they'll all have a taste.
Okay. Oh, Summer League doesn't count, though.
Sorry, the handshake has already been
Oh, come on. I won't be officially on their basketball reference page.
Okay, fair enough. They got to get a basketball reference entry.
Okay.
I like that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is a hot take. 937. LeBron is better than his sons. Slow down. Slow down with these hot takes. Somebody's going to get burned.
Relax, man.
Yeah. Great tweet there. And I like that little split footage there.
Yeah.
From Rob Lopez.
To be honest, I don't follow the high school game, but Bronny was just joined by Bryce this year at his high school because Bronny's been there for a few years.
Bronny's been around for a few years.
Sierra,
that sounds right.
Sierra, what's it called?
Sierra Canyon.
Sierra Canyon. I always forget the second part. Canyon. But Bryce, I think, just joined this
That makes
season.
sense. He had like a massive growth spurt. I think he's taller than Bronny is now.
Yeah, which would make sense. Freshman
about the varsity,
and junior.
Wow.
And then a senior next year for Bronny before LeBron says, you draft him and you got me in 2024 or whatever happens. I don't know, but I feel weird talking about high school sports. I'm not a real American. I don't really dive in. I don't travel around Georgia looking at the next football prospect.
You don't head out on Friday night? Go check out the offensive lineman?
I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to. Yeah, I'm looking at the offense, sitting in the bleachers with my binoculars.
Yes.
Look at that right tackle.
Yeah.
Look at the foot speed on that right tackle.
That's the South. You're in the South, man.
I know.
That's Friday night football.
Have you ever checked out?
I could not care less. There's no way I would go check that out. Good on them. If you're into it, I get it. Especially not in Atlanta. If I was in the boonies somewhere in South Georgia where that's all that's going on, yeah, I guess I would go down to a game.
Oh, you got
we used
so
to
much
do it in Stratford, Ontario.
Exactly. What are you doing tonight? Or what are you doing Friday night, man?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm probably watching professional
exactly.
basketball.
I'm too busy.
I might watch Bullet Train again. JD, great movie.
It's great, right?
Yeah, the worst thing about Bullet Train is the trailer.
Yeah.
Who made that trailer? They should be fired.
Yes, I agree.
It was terrible. It didn't. People were like, "This looks dumb," or like, "What is this about?" It's a fun movie, fun watch.
This guy's too busy, fellow, to go see a high school football game.
Yeah, he's watching Bullet Train.
He's seen every television show.
Go watch
every
a high
movie.
school football game.
You're telling me when Grish's kids are playing football, you're not going to be.
Oh, I have to know somebody in the game. That's
Yeah.
okay. Okay, that's different. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that part. Not knowing anyone? That feels weird.
That does feel weird.
Just gonna go take in a high school kids game.
I didn't even know who was playing. It was a Sunday tournament, but I guess it was high schoolers. It could have been middle schoolers down at the old Grady Stadium down there.
Yeah, you hear it.
A great event.
It's amazing. Like their stadiums are like. I mean, like they're smaller, but they're like, holy crap, they're nice.
Oh, it's nice to just put my butt on cold concrete, you know.
It's so nice.
Hey, when we growing up in Southern Ontario, the Friday night version of the football game in the South was the junior B hockey game, the local hockey game for your like lower level team. So we had they were then called the Stratford Culletons, and now they're called Stratford. Wow, hockey drop? What the heck are they called now?
The Cullies have been changed, haven't they?
Yeah. What are they called? Oh, the Warriors, called Stratford Warriors.
Right. I thought you were going to say that Friday nights were for theater.
Well, in Stratford,
I thought where you were going.
Stratford, it was you would go catch a play. Yes, go see King Lear, and then head over to Allman Arena to see the Culletons at the time play the Kitchener Rangers.
Ah, the double dip.
Yeah. It's an interesting city, right? Blue collar, white collar city, all wrapped up in one.
What about no collar? Any real freaks in Stratford?
Yeah, they let their dogs off the leash. No collars on those dogs, and it's ridiculous. Put your dog on a leash.
It was fun. It was, when you went back to back in the day, going to a hockey game, junior B, any level, I guess, really, no nets.
What?
Keep your head on a swivel.
No nets.
Multiple times. No nets on the
protective. Yeah.
No, they had hockey nets.
How do you score?
That's crazy to me. Instructionally.
Just a couple of toques marking where you scored.
So actually, Stratford hockey games were decided by your best soliloquy from a play. You would come to center ice and do your best
battle.
Hamlet. They wouldn't drop the gloves. They dropped the pros. We're
going mano-y-mano. Monologue for monologue tonight.
No, I meant the netting, man.
That makes
because like multiple times I was at a Cullies game and someone would get like a kid or anyone would get a puck to the face, and it was quite dangerous. Those things flying up there.
The face is dangerous.
So I always remember my mom would say before I left the house, you keep your eye on the ice. Keep your eye on the ice. Don't be talking to your friends nonstop. When the action's going, you never know when that puck's coming up.
This should be. It's crazy. No, you should have no one sitting behind the nets.
That sounds super dangerous.
Maybe it was just behind the net.
Maybe it was just behind the net, and then it was
the rest
open.
of the arena.
So
like a baseball back kind of deal.
Yeah.
They must have had plexiglass, like the glass.
They had the glass, but I'm talking like.
You can see a hockey arena. You're sitting in.
Now it's everywhere. The netting.
Is it really?
Well, yeah,
all the way around.
I mean, it's like a lot more. Yeah, for sure.
Cell phones. That's cell phones. I'm not watching the ice. You're looking at their phone.
Anyways, Lin-Manuel Miranda's got to come out with a hockey game where you battle have a soliloquy at center ice.
It's his next musical.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
What are we waiting for, Lin?
You gotta do it.
Make Slapshot, the famous 70s hockey movie.
I can't believe that hasn't been done yet.
I'm not giving away my Slapshot.
How has that not been remade? They remake every movie. There is
a Slapshot
iconic sports
2
movie.
or something.
There is? With the Hanson brothers?
I think it's.
They made that movie Goon.
Oh, yeah.
They did.
Yeah, that's basically Snapchat.
To quote William Shakespeare, keep your eye on the ice. CWE Crocker. Great comment. Hey, remember when this was going to be an hour-long podcast?
Yeah, well.
Well, we had some larfs at the end. Shout out to Ed Olenek, Rob Blake,
Ed
Rod Olchek. What?
Not
Ed Olchek.
Ed Olchek. You said Kelly Olynyk's brother's name. That's not his. Ed Olchek, legend.
Rod Brindamore.
That's right. That's right. That's a hockey player. Rick Tabarachi.
Oh, man. Don't make me say John Van Beesbrook. That's all I got, man. John Van Beesbrook.
Darren Poopa loves poop bingo.
Oh, God. Okay. There's
a man named Darren Poopa in the NHL. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we say it every time we talk.
Oh, come on. It's been years.
I was trying to actually name junior B players that were coming up
Garth
through the ranks. Tim probably played junior B, sure.
They all played junior B.
I don't know.
Not all of them. Rod Brendamore, Ron Francis, maybe.
Chris Pronger.
Yeah. He's from Stratford.
He's an Ontarian.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
What, do you think he's too big to be from Ontario?
No, they grow big, man.
I just didn't know, literally anything about him.
Great defenseman.
Oh, yeah, one of the best. Puck handling defenseman, I think.
What about Ty Domi?
Sure, that's a name. I don't know if they played in the junior B ranks.
What about Owen Nolan?
I don't know if they played for the London Knights or not. Or the Elmira Sugar Kings.
Wow.
Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, I think they played for the Sugarland Skeeters. Oh,
that's
Ron
baseball.
Sport.
That's baseball. They're no longer called that, as I once told you.
Just like the Cullies. Things change. What are they called now? The Sugarland McGrady's? Didn't McGrady pitch for them?
It's something space comments or something. Something about space.
Something space comments.
Embrace the day, people. We'll see you tomorrow.
Space comments?
I don't know what it is. Something like that.